Start by opening up the oil cap to vent air into the crank. Also, I pull the dipstick up to let a little bit more air while we're draining. When you go under this portion of the truck is where you'll find the drain plug on the back of the oil pan. It's a 16 millimeter. Just go ahead and crack it open. It will make a mess when you pull the plug out. Just make sure you hold on to the plug so it doesn't fall in your drain pan. As you can see, the wind is blowing it all over the place for me. Um, Once it's got enough out, go ahead and screw it back in. I get it about hand tight, clean it off, and then tighten it down. It's just supposed to be hand tight, or like with the end of a ratchet like this, how I'm just tightening as much as I can with my hand. I'm sure there's a torque spec for it. But then I use brake cleaner to clean up all the residual mess that was made. And like this one has the four-wheel drive, so it dripped into the pan. So the person who did the oil filter last time, some type of hilarious person, they've got a bunch of wrenches to take these off. I couldn't get it off, and I was out in the field, so I didn't have my wrenches, so I just used these channel locks. And it was tightened really hard where I was crimping the metal to be able to get it off. So I finally was able to break it loose so I could get it at least hand removed. And I don't know why he wrote yee yee on it. Maybe it means something else, but just go ahead and I crack it loose just a little bit so it starts getting the oil out, and then move the pan to make sure it's in the right spot, and loosen it all the way. I use a drain pan that's 16 quarts because the Duramax holds 10 quarts, so it'll be old enough to be able to hold it all for me. But go ahead and get it off, put it in your drain pan, let it drain some more. Clean off the mating surface and make sure that the old O-ring isn't still on there. What you do is you take the new filter. This is an ACDelco. You use some oil to lubricate the O-ring that goes on it. Like I said, it was an ACDelco. There's a link in the description for all the parts and everything that I use down in so you can find a place to buy them. What I do is when I put it on, right before I put it on, I put the date and my initials on it just to do that. But then I take a rag and I tighten it as hard as I can with my hand. They say that it's supposed to be hand tight. I get a little nervous about that, so I tighten it just as hard as I actually can, and I use a rag so it gives me a little bit more grip. So then I also go clean it all off so I can double check for leaks later. All right, going back up to the top, you pull the oil filler off, put the funnel in using the Shell Rotella T6 15W40 because I'm in the Southwest and it's not needs to go below zero. That it never goes below zero actually. So like I said, this takes 10 quarts. I had to pull the funnel up because it was not letting any air in when I did that. So these jugs come in gallons and not 5 quarts like normal car oil does. As you can see here on the side, it has all the levels. And since I said it was 10 quarts, 2 bottles is 8 plus 2 more. So a half bottle would be the 10. So here I am filling it, checking to make sure I've only put 2 in. And then once I've done all that, I then pull the dipstick or push it all the way back in, then pull it so I can clean it off to make sure that I'm starting with a good clean measure. Obviously put it back in, pull it back out. And as you can see on the side, the level is right there in the middle of everything and it's right below full. So I know I did it right. Put it back in and then I'll go and clean everything else out, pull the filler and put the cap back on. But you're not done yet because you still have to reset the check oil or change engine oil. So what I first do is I start the truck up just to make sure there's no leaks. Start it up good, but it still has that change engine oil light. So what you're supposed to do is you turn the truck off, pull the key out, and what you do is when you put the key in, you do 2 clicks, but don't let it crank. And within the first 5 seconds, you push the gas pedal all the way to the floor 3 times really quickly. And what it'll do is it'll say change engine oil, and then it'll go oil life reset. And that's when you know that you are completely done with the oil change. So you then just start your truck, let it warm up, and see how everything looks. Like always, if you enjoy what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe.